Remember Max Black, the sarcastic, street-smart waitress who could turn any insult into a punchline faster than the speed of light? The girl who made poverty look stylish and cynicism sound poetic? Yeah, her. The world loved Max. The world needed Max. But what happened to the woman who played her, the talented and razor-witted Kat Dennings? Well, her story didn't end with laughter and applause. In fact, it took a turn that many fans never saw coming. This is her journey, from the heights of fame to the quiet corners of Hollywood that now barely remember her name. When Two Broke Girls first aired in 2011, it wasn't just another sitcom. It was a mood, loud, unapologetic, and dripping with sass. Two waitresses trying to survive New York City with nothing but dreams and mismatched uniforms. And right at the center was Max Black, played by Kat Dennings, the quick-witted, dark-haired waitress whose humor could slice through glass. She wasn't your typical sitcom sweetheart. No bright smile, no over-the-top enthusiasm. Instead, she was raw, real, and brutally funny. And for a while, Kat Dennings became a household name, the girl with the sarcastic grin and the kind of comedic timing you can't teach. But long before the fame, Kat Dennings wasn't anywhere near the Hollywood spotlight. Born Catherine Litwack in Pennsylvania in 1986, she was homeschooled most of her life. Her parents were far from the Hollywood type. Her father was a molecular pharmacologist, her mother a poet and speech therapist. Kat was the youngest in the family, shy and introspective, a kid who spent more time reading than talking. She later admitted that her real dream wasn't fame, it was storytelling. Acting was just the medium she found to express herself. At 14, Kat and her family moved to Los Angeles to chase that dream. Like many young actors, she started from the very bottom. Commercials, guest roles, auditions that led nowhere. Her first break came with the TV show Sex and the City in 2000, where she appeared in a single episode as a bratty teenager. It was short but impactful. Her snark, even as a kid, stood out. Hollywood noticed. Soon after, she landed small roles in shows like Raising Dad and ER, gradually proving that she wasn't just another face in the crowd. She had a presence, a voice that didn't beg for attention, but demanded it through authenticity. The early 2000s were kind to Kat. She started appearing in films like The 40-Year-Old Virgin in 2005 and Big Mama House 2 in 2006, always bringing that dry, deadpan humor that would later define Max Black. But it wasn't until Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist in 2008 that people really started paying attention. Playing opposite Michael Cera, Kat brought vulnerability and depth to a generation of awkward romantics. Critics called her refreshingly real, a label that would stick to her for years. By then, it was clear. Kat Dennings wasn't the loudest person in the room, but somehow she always owned it. Her characters had attitude, but they also had heart. Then came 2011. CBS greenlit a show that would change everything for her. Two Broke Girls. She landed the lead role as Max Black, a wickidish waitress working in a Brooklyn diner alongside Caroline Channing, played by Beth Beers, a spoiled heiress who'd lost her money. The chemistry between Kat and Beth was instant. The show's humor was edgy, often inappropriate, sometimes controversial, but undeniably addictive. Viewers loved Max's sarcasm. Her one-liners became internet memes. Her toughness became an anthem for everyone struggling to make ends meet. Kat Dennings wasn't acting. She was Max. The line between the character and the actress blurred beautifully. For 6 years, from 2011 to 2017, Two Broke Girls was a TV staple. Ratings soared, and so did Kat Dennings. She appeared on magazine covers, late-night shows, and red carpets. Her Twitter followers skyrocketed. She was Hollywood's favorite new rebel, the relatable kind of famous.
The disappearance, fame, silence, and the reality behind the laughs. When Two Broke Girls ended in 2017, fans expected Kat Dennings to explode into Hollywood superstardom. After all, she wasn't just a sitcom star. She was the face of sarcasm, the queen of wit, the character that resonated with millions who laughed through their own struggles. But then, she was gone. No headlines, no big movie deals, no glamorous comebacks. It was as if Hollywood had pressed pause and forgot to hit play again. And for Kat Dennings, the silence that followed wasn't just professional, it was personal. because beneath all that confidence and sharp humor, there was someone quietly breaking down. Section 1. The Aftermath of Success. The finale of Two Broke Girls was supposed to be a celebration. 6 years of laughter, friendship, and sarcasm that millions adored. But Kat later revealed that the end felt sudden and unfinished. CBS canceled the show without warning, leaving both the cast and fans stunned. In an interview years later, she said, "It felt like losing a part of myself. I spent my 20s growing up with that show." And that's the truth. She wasn't just playing Max Black. She became her. When the camera stopped rolling, Kat found herself asking a painful question. Who am I without her? For most of her 20s, Kat lived in a bubble of scripts, schedules, and sitcom laughter. But when it ended, the noise stopped, and all that was left was silence. No more call sheets, no more studio lights, just long days of wondering what comes next. That silence can be deafening, especially when the world knows your face but not your story. Section 2. The Hollywood Paradox. In Hollywood, fame is fickle. One moment you're everywhere, the next your name is a memory. For Kat, the typecasting problem grew louder than any applause. She had built her career on sarcasm and sass, traits that once made her unique, but now limited her. Casting directors didn't see Kat Dennings, the actress. They saw Max Black, and they wanted more Max Black. She was offered roles that looked, sounded, and behaved just like the character she had just retired. She wanted growth, but Hollywood wanted repetition. And that mismatch slowly pushed her into the shadows. Kat once said in a low-profile interview, "People think you're being picky, but sometimes you just don't want to play the same person over and over again." And that's where the irony of fame kicks in. The very role that made her famous also trapped her. Section 3. A quiet withdrawal from the spotlight. Between 2017 and 2019, Kat Dennings practically disappeared from mainstream Hollywood. Her social media slowed down. Her public appearances became rare. No red carpets, no interviews, no talk show laughter. For her fans, it was strange. This was the woman who once flooded late-night shows with comebacks and charm. Now, she was a ghost in plain sight. But behind the scenes, Kat was healing. She began spending more time at home away from Hollywood noise. She read, painted, cooked, and surrounded herself with animals, something she said brought real peace. She wasn't hiding, she was recovering. The burnout was real. Imagine spending over a decade constantly being watched, judged, and labeled, then suddenly being told you're not in demand anymore. It's not just a career shift, it's an identity crisis. Kat once hinted online about struggling with mental exhaustion. She never framed it as depression, but fans could read between the lines. The cheerful sarcasm of Max Black was missing, replaced by quiet reflections and nostalgia. Section 4. The Unseen Pressure of Perfection. In Hollywood, thrives on illusion. The smiles, the gowns, the red carpets, but behind every polished photo is someone trying to hold it together. Kat Dennings was never one for drama or scandal. No outrageous parties, no viral feuds, no tabloid chaos. And in a strange way, that worked against her, because Hollywood, more than anything, feeds on noise. In an industry that rewards controversy, Kat's calmness made her invisible. She wasn't trending, she was normal. And in 2020's social media-driven fame culture, being normal can feel like fading away. The woman who once ruled primetime television slowly became another "Where are they now?" headline. It's a painful reality for many actors. One day you're the centerpiece of every conversation, and the next, your absence becomes the only thing people notice. Section 5. Love, Loss, and Life Off-Screen. Around this time, Kat Dennings' personal life also began to draw attention, though not in the way Hollywood loves. She had a few public relationships, including one with musician Josh Groban and later with rock star Andrew WK. But unlike other celebrity couples who turned romance into publicity, Kat stayed quiet. She rarely shared details. No staged paparazzi photos, no exclusive interviews. She valued privacy, something almost extinct in modern fame. Her fans, though supportive, could feel something different. The spark, that wild confidence Max Black had, seemed softer, maybe wiser, maybe sadder. In one of her few reflective posts, she wrote, "Sometimes you step back, not because you're lost, but because you need to remember who you were before the noise. That line said it all. Because for Kat Dennings, life after Two Broke Girls wasn't about chasing fame anymore. It was about finding herself in a world that constantly demanded she play a character. Section 6. A small return, but not the same. In 2021, fans finally saw Kat back on screen. In Disney's WandaVision, she reprised her role as Darcy Lewis from the Thor films, the sarcastic scientist with a heart of gold. Her return to Marvel brought joy to longtime fans. It was proof that she was still around, still talented, still magnetic. But even then, Kat didn't dive back into Hollywood chaos. She did press interviews, smiled, and thanked fans, but you could tell she wasn't chasing the spotlight anymore. She had found comfort in stillness. She didn't need to dominate every headline. She just needed to exist authentically. And that's what made her story bittersweet. Because while fans celebrated her return, they also realized this wasn't the same Kat Dennings they knew from Two Broke Girls. This was someone quieter, more reflective, maybe even a little lonely.